Hey guys, Big Boy here. I got a book review today, and it's a really awesome one by an author that I am finding myself to really like. What it is Killshot by Elmore Leonard. So I read Rum Punch probably 5 months ago. Very good book. I enjoyed it and I reviewed it. That was my first Elmore Leonard book I had ever read. Didn't know too much about him other than a bunch of people highly acclaimed him as the best crime fiction writer in American history. So that's a pretty big claim. I read Rum Punch. I wouldn't say that he was the best, but after reading Killshot, you know, I kind of scratched my head a little bit. So if you guys saw my update last week, you know that I was saying that I'm really digging this book. And now that I finished it, I can easily say that this was one of the best, if not the best read I've had entertainment-wise this whole year, and the year's almost over, so that's saying quite a bit. I think what I loved about this book most was that it's just a edge-of-your-seat page-turner, on the run. Anything on the run, you got me gripped. If you know any awesome on-the-run stories, comment them down in the comment box right now, because I will read it. This book is just that. It is a crime story involving two thugs and two civilians. The civilians are on the run from the two thugs, and it is intense. I mentioned that this book was quite a bit like the premise of my novel that I've been writing before I even knew about Killshot. But yeah, my book, The Preacher's Warning, that I've been writing for the past year and a half or so, 2 years, is very similar to this in the sense that it's an on-the-run story, and it has intertwining character plots and subplots, and I'll get into the plot now. Basically, we have our everyday American family, the Coulsons, Wayne Coulson and Carmen Coulson. They are in their 40s, early 40s, you know, middle-aged, typical American family. They got a son, he's in the Navy, over across seas. They haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, life is good. Down on the other side of town, we got a man named Armand Dargis. Now, he is basically whacking somebody. He is shooting an old man in the face. We quickly find out that he is a hitman for the mob, and he is Native American, and he's very quiet but powerful in the way that he just even looks at you. He does not touch anything. He does not like being seen. Then my personal favorite character, Richie Nix, comes into the picture. Richie Nix got this plan to rob a bank in every single state in America. He's a hothead, but I love him to death, and I love his character. Through a somewhat hilarious sequence of events, Richie Nix ends up being in the driver's seat of Armand Dargis's vehicle in attempt of robbing him, when he soon finds out that Armand is even tougher than him, which then he asks him if he wants to team up. Through another sequence of seemingly hilarious events, Armand and Richie end up at Carmen's workplace, which is a realtor agency that, you know, sells houses, which her husband, Wayne, is there to get a job interview. So both of them are there, and both of these thugs are there. Now, something happens between these two forces that I'm not going to tell you, but let's just say it makes Armand and Richie want to kill them really bad, and that's what the whole story is about. The book flows really well, although I will say that I always loved reading Richie and Armand's chapters a bit more. They're just complete polar opposites next to each other when they're talking. Richie just never shuts up, but Armand, he just kind of puts up with it and puts up with it, and it's just hilarious. It's a very funny chemistry. On the other hand, Carmen and Wayne's chapters are a little bit slower. They kind of have this really strange subplot near the third quarter of the book that probably my biggest complaint with it. Kind of seemed like Leonard needed to meet a page quota because he was just kind of adding filler in, but their chapters, near the beginning especially, are extremely fast tense, just as much as Armand and Richie's, but towards the end, you know, though realistic, they just kind of slow down. Now, I just finished this novel moments ago, but even thinking about the ending now, I would say it's just a teensy tiny bit anticlimactic. Not much, but I might have been expecting just a little bit more, but even then, the last paragraph is one that I'll never forget. I loved it. It was just such a odd but like awesome way to end the book. I can't really recommend this book enough. It was definitely a surprise to me. After reading Rum Punch, I was like, yeah, I want to give this guy another shot. And Killshot was the one that I went with, and it's probably going to be the best book that I ever read by this guy. It's definitely one of my favorites now. I also picked up the movie Killshot, which stars Mickey Rourke and Diane Lane. It's an okay movie. It's a good adaptation. It literally goes word for the most part. Changes a little bit towards the end, but yeah, it's still very close, and it's entertaining nonetheless. You can tell that it was done by somebody who doesn't have that much experience with film, but you know, it was entertaining. And little fact here, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is actually in it, and it was kind of weird. He plays Richie Nix. And I was shocked by that, because I didn't really expect him to see him in a movie like this. But, you know, he was awesome. That's about all I gotta say on this book. I hope that you'll go out and try it at least, because I'm recommending it. And when I like a book, I like a book. So, that's my thoughts on things. Let me know of any other Elmore Leonard books that you find to be great in the comments below. And I'll maybe give him a try, because I'm really liking this dude. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later.